Hi everybody. Hello, 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 hello. Today we're going to paint this, which is the bauble I showed you yesterday. This is a cactus bauble off my Christmas tree. So I thought we'd paint it. That was day one, and day two's on the other side. So let's get on with it. We've got a squarish. I'm using a 2B pencil again. And I'm just going to do a square base, and I'm going to include a little bit of soil. There's a bit of soil on this, which is glitter on the bauble itself. And then we've got a oval shape coming down on either side with the bottom showing. Now the cacti has got stripes on it, so we're going to put those on, but we're going to put those on in paint. It's also got these little fluffy white bits on. If you want, you can do those afterwards and use some very thick white watercolor, or some white acrylic, or even a white pen. But I'm going to make the cacti look like it's in flower. So I'm going to do 3 little orange flowers on this. I'm just going to suggest them at the top, and one smaller one just here, and it will have a little stem. So this is a cactus in flower this time. Okay, so again, I've got my small brushes, and I've also got some round brushes. So I've got this one, which is a round number 3, just for those who need information on materials. And then I've got my detail brushes, which are these tiny detailer brushes that I get from the SAA, and it's a 00. Okay, but first of all, I'm just going to take the round brush, and it's so cold in my studio today that there's ice on my water, look. So I know some painters paint with gin in their water to stop the water from freezing. So here I've got 2 greens again. I've got my sap green and I've got my viridian green. So I'm going to use the viridian green, and I'm going to use it quite thick. Bit of water for the watercolour, and then I'm just going to put that along the top of my cacti. So you can see it's a really strong green, and it's lovely for this bauble type cacti because the colours are exaggerated. So it's a nice festive colour. And this time we're going to wait for this to dry before we do the bottom bit, because if we put the bottom bit here, then that will leak into that bit. So while we're waiting, I'm just going to put some reddy brown colour where the soil is, just here. Again, whatever brown you've got or you want to use it. You may not have the colours that I mention. And if you just want to do these like really bright, cheerful colours, then, you know, go ahead. It doesn't have to be the colours that I'm using here. So we've got a colour there now, and we don't want to put a colour there because, again, it will bleed. However, I've got a hairdryer today to speed things up a bit. So I'm just going to hairdryer this just quickly. Okay, now you might not have a hairdryer, so just take your time with it. So while that's drying off, we can mix the sap green colour, which is the lighter green. And you might find that this still isn't completely dry, but it's less likely to bleed if it's dried off a little bit. You can even just blow on it. And if you're in a particularly warm environment, you should find that your watercolour dries off. That's the benefit of using watercolour, is that it does dry rather quickly. But like I said the other day, the watercolor does dry lighter. So always remember that. So that's the lighter green. And then we've got a golden color. Now I don't have a gold in my set that I've got here, but the closest thing to it is this color called yellow ochre. But any yellow will do. So again, whatever you might be lucky enough to have gold in your set. But a lot of people just use yellows to create the illusion of gold. But you can see that's not a bad colour to what we've got here. Okay, and then the final splash is the flower. Now I've chosen to do this in an orange red. I've got an orange red colour here. A cadmium red is the closest to that. That's your primary red. Okay, this just happens to have a little bit of orange. It's sitting on the orange red side. So you can do your flowers any colour. If you want to mix an orange and you haven't got one, then the best colours to use are a cadmium red and a cadmium yellow, and that will give you a lovely orange colour to use on your flowers. And we're just doing really, I mean, most cacti flower are sort of spiky. I mean, they join in with the nature of the body of the cacti and their spikiness. So we're doing these sort of spiky, pom-pommy type cacti flower here. Okay, so that again is wet. I want to put a stem on it. How are we doing for time? Oh, nearly out. Oh no, 6 minutes. Well done. Okay, so just hair dryer it a bit. You can see it's drying off quite quickly. Okay, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to mix. I'm going to use my detail brush, and I'm going to mix a very light green. And the way I'm going to do that is by taking a little bit, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, taking a little bit of my sap green, putting it over here. And then I'm going to take a little bit of yellow. This is a cadmium yellow. I'm going to mix that into, and you can see that oh, sorry, hang on, there you go. You can see that that is lightening the green. Can you see? So it's gone from this colour to that colour. All right, so that will give you a nice, vibrant yellow green. And I'm just going to put this on the underside of these little projecting, can't get the words out, flowers. You only need it on that one really, because this one is semi-open. Okay, now, so the last thing we need to do, how are we doing? 8 minutes, well, hey, we've got it in the first time, is we're going to put some lines on these, this cacti to describe the undulation. Okay, so what I've done is I've mixed up a green, I've added a bit of blue, a bit of ultramarine blue into my mix, so it's quite dark, but it's still quite thick, and I'm using a detail brush. Okay, again, take your time with this. You don't have to rush with me. You can always finish these things off another time. And you're just going to put in, so you can see the importance of having a fine brush with this, because you don't want those lines to be too thick. Okay, so on the edge as well. And can you see how I've curved them? So the curve has gone from straight, because that's the one that's closest to you, and it straightens out when it's closest to you. But then as it goes away, the curve gets bigger and then bigger. Okay, so try not to just do straight lines. Try to put some like in between that are slightly less curved, like that. And then some that are more curved as they go around to the outside of the cacti. Okay, the only other thing I'll do, actually, no. How are we doing? 9 minutes. Whoa. Right, okay. A shadow here, like this. And that's just a bit of the green paint that I've got left on my palette. Okay, and I'm going to put a darker red. I've got a alizarin crimson. Where is it? There, which is a dark red. I'm just going to put a little centre in these flowers. And I think that's us. We're at 10 minutes. Okay. Thanks, everybody. There's your lovely bauble cacti. Da, 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 da. And there's the one from day 1. So you can see them building up now. And then if I slide this over this way, you can see day 2. So that was day 1, day 2, day 3. Okay, have fun. I'm just wondering if we can get them all in. Oops. Yeah, just about there. So you can see them building up. They start to look really lovely. Okay, see you tomorrow. Don't forget to like and subscribe and pass the information on. Share it with friends. It's a lovely project to do every day. And you can catch up with them after on YouTube if you can't make it at 1 o'clock. Bye for now, everybody. Bye.